I'm going to walk you through this process slowly. One day it'll be second nature to you and it will happen really fast. Hello and welcome. I'm Carly from Soundside Studios, and I'm here to chat with you about all things tarot. Do you ever read a multi-card spread and have a little issue with understanding the relationships between the cards? I know it's easy enough to understand one card when it's alone, but when you start working with many cards, it can be challenging to understand how they're different or understand how they're working with one another. This is an issue that my students talk to me about a lot, so I've developed an activity to help people overcome this challenge, and I want to share it with you now. Let's go check it out. The secret is to compare and contrast your cards. I'm going to walk you through this process slowly. One day it'll be second nature to you and it will happen really fast. Here's what we do. We'll lay down any two cards next to each other. This is a great exercise to do with random cards from the deck, but for today, I'm going to select the Emperor and the King of Pentacles because this happens to be a tough relationship for students to understand until we do this exercise. Now that we're looking at the Emperor and the King of Pentacles, we want to notice what is similar about these two characters. The best way to do this is to use a good old-fashioned Venn diagram. So qualities that are similar between these cards. First of all, they're both sitting on a throne, so that represents power. They're both wearing armor, which represents their ability to fight for what they want. They both have thrones with these animals on them, a bull, a ram. So this represents individuals willing to lock horns, or they have a hard head maybe when it comes to making their decisions. Both have a scepter that represent power. Both wear a crown. Therefore, some of our keywords that are associated with both of these cards is authority, confidence, aggression, firmness. They're known both for protecting what they love, and they show their love through the establishment of boundaries. Additionally, they both represent qualities of the divine masculine and qualities of leadership. So now let's look at what makes these cards different, starting with the Emperor. The Emperor is a major arcana card, so that means this is a larger archetype. It also represents self-determination. It's the role of being an authority figure and taking on almost a father-like leadership position. The character can sometimes be stoic. They can also be very fight-oriented. And when it's used in a very healthy way, this is a balance of power. They also have the courage to stand up to power dynamics, the courage to fight authority when necessary, and protect what they love. But on a more toxic side, they can definitely go overboard by being too forceful, too demanding, too cruel. There's a lot more red in this card, so that kind of represents an excessiveness of aggression. And in the background, you'll notice that it's very dry and arid. And so maybe this maybe this emperor has been willing to torch his own lands in order to win a battle. That's maybe more egoic. Perhaps it's kind of a win-at-all-costs mentality when it's applied in a toxic way. Now let's jump over and look at the King of Pentacles. Our King of Pentacles is a minor arcana card, and it represents this identity of being a business person or a provider for others, someone who knows how to invest their resources well, whether those resources are time, energy, or money. If we look at the greenery surrounding the character, there's a sense of a lushness and abundance. And so they've definitely reinvested back into their own world, which has caused growth. The character is also known for creating ecosystems. Sometimes they're economies or they're financial ecosystems, and that's represented by the city in the background. So we see that there are processes in place that allow the city to run. If you think about sanitation workers or mail services, these are just, government designed programs that keep a city functioning well. And once the design is in place, it's self-sustaining. And so the King of Pentacles is somebody who's great at integrating processes for success. The character definitely can be a bit materialistic. That's, we get that sense from having all of the greenery around them and these robes that also have these beautiful, luxurious, embroidered vines on them. And the crown is a little bit more elaborate than what we see with the emperor as well as the throne. And so maybe they invest a little bit too much in some of the fancy things in life. That means that maybe on the toxic side, they can be materialistic, or they try to take too many resources for themselves or the people that they care about. I know that the King of Pentacles might seem like a foreign concept, but think about the toxic side being represented during our public health crisis, when people went to the store and they grabbed all the hand sanitizer and all the toilet paper for their family, and then we didn't have any left for the rest of the neighborhood. So that could be the King of Pentacles being a little bit toxic. However, when it's healthy and we have a beautiful King of Pentacles being represented, it's somebody who runs a business that supports a community and helps everyone get their needs met. Now that we've compared and contrasted these cards, what do we do with them? Well, let's put them into a spread, and I'll show you. My favorite spread is to look at what you could be less worried about and what you could be more focused on. So on the left side, we're going to place the Emperor, the position of what could be deprioritized or less worried about in your life. And on the right side, what to do instead, where to put your focus. Because both of these cards relate to leadership, let's say that when you take a leading role next, don't try to go outside of your sphere of influence and take resources from others. That is the combative and aggressive energy of the Emperor. By contrast, be more like the King of Pentacles. Take the resources you already have and reinvest it back into your community, into your business, or into yourself, whatever it is that you're helping to grow and whatever it is you are tasked to lead. Make sure that you are recycling these resources and taking care of what's around you rather than worrying about what's external to you, because that's the Emperor energy that we need less of. So I hope this was helpful. Try this again on your own. You can draw a Venn diagram out on paper, or you can draw 3 lists, that works too, and randomly select your cards from your tarot deck. Identify either what's similar first or what's different first. The way you pick that is, if your cards are already similar, start there. If the cards are totally different, like let's say you had the Knight of Swords and Temperance, then start with what makes these cards really different. So start wherever it's most obvious, and then work your way through those 3 lists. Once that's done, think about how can I do less of that card on your left and more of that card on your right, just to see how they play against each other with their advice, but how they can still give you guidance on a specific area of life that they relate to. Okay, I hope that was helpful. If you give this a try, let me know how it goes. Put a comment down below. In the meantime, like and subscribe, and follow me on my socials to stay in touch. I'll see you next time. Keep up the good readings.